All right, so here's what we got going on today. We will be tracking scenes and pulling some quotes. All right, so I want to be clear what a quote is in the context of what we're talking about now is it is a piece of text we are pulling from a larger body of text, like a novel or a short story. It's not a quote you would pull off the internet. All right, and a scene is going to be kind of like a moment in time from the novel, and that can kind of vary depending on the novel or the story. A shorter story, there might be more scenes closer together, and for something longer, we might be looking at longer scenes. So, what I'm going to have you guys do is think about the novel thus far and look at it from Junior's perspective. I'm working here from Rowdy's perspective, just so we don't cross over too much. But what I want you to do is I want you to track and briefly summarize what you consider to be the most important scenes, at least five, or moments from the novel so far. Okay. Um, so what I did for here for Rowdy, you'll see that I said, Rowdy's it's about when we get introduced. His father's a alcoholic. Rowdy's then where he talks about Rowdy's angry and me. He'll fight anything. Then the scene at the powwow where he goes berserk and destroys the van. And last but not least, the scene where he gets revenge on the Andrus brothers for beating up Junior. Um, and the next thing I want you to do is to kind of once you've located those scenes, is to jump in and pull a quote from the text that you think best exemplifies that scene. So, for example, if I'm going to come to scene 5 here, right? So the last scene I'm going to talk about is the scene where Rowdy talks about Rowdy reading comic books, okay, which I think is pretty important to Rowdy's character, like who he is as a character. Um, and he says right here, I'm going to jump into this section of it, and I'm going to kind of jump in and try and find what I think is the most important quote from this section. So I'm in this section right here. He reads the comic books, Cats with a Friendly Ghost, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing I think is the most important about this in terms of Rowdy, where Arnold or Junior says he's a big, goofy dreamer too, just like me. He likes to pretend he lives inside the comic books. And I guess a fake life inside his cartoon is a lot better than his real life. So I'm going to kind of take that and um, throw just you guys might have to write this by hand. Throw that right there. Well, first I'm also going to summarize this scene here. So, Rowdy has comic books. Likes Rowdy likes to read old comic books like Richie Rich. He, ooh, I went all caps. He keeps them hidden in a hole in his closet, right? So I'm just kind of briefly summarizing the scene, and then I say he's a big goofy dreamer to that quote I pulled, and I'm always going to put a quote in quotation marks, right? And also I'm going to tell you what page it's coming from, and that's page 21, or on at least on the PDF. I don't have the book in front of me, so that's that, and that's all we really have to do. So what I want you to do is go jump into the book. What are the important scenes for Arnold or Junior? And then, pull them out, summarize them briefly, and then find a quote that supports it. Good luck.